Throughout history, humans have always been fascinated by space and astronomy, exploring planets, moons, and stars while sending space missions to celestial bodies. But the strange thing is that they've always focused on distant places. No one ever thought of exploring a location very close to us, just a few dozen kilometers away. To reach this place, all we need to do is simply look down instead of up. We know that the Earth's interior is hot and full of lavender, but have you ever wondered how we even know that? How did we find out that the Earth's core is so hot? Even stranger, geologists describe the Earth's internal structure in detail, mentioning the inner core, outer core, crust, and more. But how did they figure this out? Did someone actually travel to the Earth's core and come back to tell us about it? The story begins with the physicist Lord Kelvin, the creator of the Kelvin temperature scale. In the Middle Ages, miners noticed that the deeper they dug into the Earth, the hotter it got. At the time, no one understood why. Lord Kelvin then proposed an idea. Listen, folks, I have a theory. Long ago, the Earth was extremely hot, maybe even a massive blazing fireball. Over time, its outer layers cooled down, but the core remained intensely hot. Some of that heat rises to the upper layers from time to time. So the further we move from the core, the less we feel the heat, and the closer we get, the hotter it becomes. At first, people didn't really get what he was saying. But in simple terms, Kelvin was suggesting that the Earth was once incredibly hot, and that its core still retains that immense heat due to its rocky structure and surrounding layers. Back then, his idea was just a hypothesis, but later on, science proved that the Earth's core is indeed extremely hot. But did we just accept Kelvin's words and move on? Not at all. There were multiple attempts to investigate further. One of the most famous was a Soviet experiment in 1971, one of the strangest drilling projects in human history. In 1965, a group of Soviet researchers proposed drilling an ultra-deep borehole to study the Earth's lower layers. They started the project in Zapolyarny, Russia, and after years of drilling, they created what is now known as the Kola Superdeep Borehole. Everything went smoothly at first, and through this borehole, the Soviets made incredible discoveries, including deep deposits of gold and diamonds. They also found enormous amounts of methane gas at extreme depths, challenging the old belief that such depths contained no biological material. The borehole provided valuable geological insights, and everything seemed promising, until something strange happened. In 1989, the Soviets suddenly announced they were halting the drilling, despite having reached a depth of over 12,000 meters. By 1992, they officially shut down the project and sealed the borehole. The official explanation was that they had run out of funding and that the temperatures at those depths exceeded expectations, reaching over 300 degrees Celsius, whereas they had only anticipated around 100 degrees Celsius. However, rumors and myths spread, suggesting that the real reason for stopping the project was far more mysterious. Some claimed they had discovered strange creatures underground and that the borehole was actually a gateway allowing these creatures to escape into our world. In the end, the Kola Superdeep Borehole remains the deepest point humans have ever reached through drilling. But here's the surprising part. Despite its 12-kilometer depth, it's barely a scratch on the Earth's surface compared to the Earth's radius of 6,371 kilometers. This means that the knowledge we gained is far from sufficient to fully understand what lies beneath. Many scientific films depict humans traveling deep into the Earth's interior, even reaching the molten core and witnessing lava flows firsthand. But can we actually do that in real life? Technically, it's possible, but it's extremely difficult. Some scientists have proposed sending a probe into the Earth's core, similar to the spacecraft we send to planets and moons. They suggest drilling a hole wide enough to pour molten iron into it under high pressure. This molten iron would seep downward, creating a hollow passage for metal-based equipment to pass through, establishing a permanent connection between the Earth's surface and its interior. Sounds easy in theory, right? But in reality, it's incredibly complicated. Now you might be wondering, what's the point of all this? Why should we bother reaching the Earth's interior? Well, think about it. What is the biggest crisis humanity faces today and will likely continue to struggle with in the future? The answer is energy. Energy is the backbone of everything around us, and research on the Earth's interior is directly linked to all forms of energy: oil, natural gas, radioactive minerals, and more. But beyond that, there's another hidden energy source inside the Earth, completely different from the traditional ones: the Earth's internal heat. This geothermal energy is a clean, renewable energy source available in enormous quantities. All we need is the right technology to harness it effectively. If scientists manage to utilize this energy for power generation, we could have an unlimited energy supply for tens, hundreds, or even millions of years. And here's the kicker. We don't even need to reach the Earth's core to tap into this energy. We just need to drill deep enough to access sufficient heat for power generation. In this case, exploring the Earth's interior wouldn't just be scientifically interesting, it could revolutionize the planet. And that's a wrap. If you've made it this far, you're awesome. Leave us a like before you go, so we know how many of you stuck around till the end. And don't forget, if you ever have a weird midnight question that keeps you up at night, drop it in the comments and we'll answer it in a future video.